Imagine you are standing in a valley. On one side, an entire army. On the other side, you. And in the middle, a giant. This is not a story about strength. It is not a story about size. It is a story about what happens when everyone else sees a problem and you see an opportunity. The year is roughly 1000 BC. The Israelites and the Philistines are at war. But instead of two armies clashing head-on, something unusual happens. The Philistines send out a single champion. His name is Goliath. Goliath is not just big, he is enormous. Ancient texts describe him as standing over 9 feet tall. He wears a bronze helmet, a coat of armor weighing around 125 pounds, bronze leg guards, and he carries a spear so heavy its iron tip alone weighs 15 pounds. Every morning and every evening for 40 days, he walks into the valley between the two armies and shouts the same challenge. Send me your best man. We fight one-on-one. The loser's army serves the winner. For 40 days, nobody moves. The Israelite army is terrified, and you can understand why. Every soldier looks at Goliath and runs a simple calculation. That thing will kill me, so nobody steps forward. Nobody except one person who was not even supposed to be there. David is a shepherd boy. He is young. He has no armor, no military training, no battle experience. He has come to the front lines only to bring food to his older brothers who are soldiers. But when he hears Goliath's challenge, he does not run the same calculation as everyone else. He asks a different question. Who is this man that he should defy the armies of the living God? That question changes everything. King Saul hears about the boy asking questions and summons him. David tells Saul he will fight Goliath. Saul tells him that is impossible. You are just a boy. Goliath has been a warrior since his youth. David does not flinch. He tells Saul something that sounds almost strange. He has killed lions. He has killed bears. While protecting his flock alone in the fields, he faced predators and won. Goliath, he says, will be no different. Saul eventually agrees. He offers David his own armor, his helmet and coat of mail. David puts them on and immediately takes them off. He is not used to them. They slow him down. They are built for a different kind of fighter. So David walks out to meet Goliath with nothing but his shepherd's staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones he picks up from a stream. Now here is where most people miss something important. When Goliath sees David walking toward him, he is insulted. He laughs. He says, "Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks?" He curses David. He tells him he will feed his flesh to the birds and the beasts. Goliath sees a boy, a joke, an insult wrapped in shepherd's clothing. But David sees something Goliath does not see. David has spent years in open fields, alone, mastering the sling. A sling in the hands of an expert is not a toy, it is a weapon. Ancient armies used slingers the way modern armies use snipers. A stone launched from a trained slinger's sling travels at speeds close to 100 miles per hour. It hits with the force of a bullet. Goliath, loaded down with 125 pounds of armor, moving slowly, expects a sword fight. He is completely unprepared for what is about to happen. David runs toward Goliath. He reaches into his bag. He pulls out a stone. He loads his sling. He swings it once. He releases. The stone strikes Goliath in the forehead. The giant falls face down into the ground. David runs to him, takes Goliath's own sword, and the battle is over before it began. The Philistine army sees their champion fall and they run. The Israelites pursue them and win the battle decisively. But step back for a moment. Because the real lesson here is not that the small guy beat the big guy. That framing almost completely misses the point. Malcolm Gladwell, in his exploration of this story, makes an argument that rewires how you see it entirely. Goliath was not the favorite. Goliath was actually at a severe disadvantage and did not know it. He was built for one kind of fight, slow and close and brutal, and David chose a completely different kind of fight. David refused to play by rules that would have guaranteed his loss. There is also a theory among some medical historians that Goliath may have suffered from a condition called acromegaly, a disorder caused by a tumor on the pituitary gland that triggers abnormal growth. It would explain his size. It would also explain symptoms described in the ancient account, like the fact that he needed a shield bearer to guide him into the valley, possibly because his vision was severely impaired. Goliath may have been nearly blind. He may never have even seen the stone coming. David knew something every great strategist knows. The battlefield your opponent expects is not the battlefield you have to fight on. You choose the terrain. You choose the rules. You choose the weapon. David also knew something about courage that most people spend their whole lives trying to learn. Fear is not the absence of courage. Fear is what you feel when the stakes are real. Courage is what you do anyway. Every soldier in that valley was afraid. David was probably afraid too. The difference is that David did not let the size of the problem determine the size of his response. There is a moment in the story that is easy to overlook. Before David picks up a single stone, before he loads his sling, before he runs toward the giant, he speaks. He tells Goliath exactly what is about to happen. He says, "You come to me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and all this assembly shall know that the Lord saves not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's." He announces the outcome before it happens, not out of arrogance, out of absolute certainty. That kind of certainty does not come from calculating the odds. It comes from knowing what you stand for. And so the boy who was not supposed to be there, who had no armor, no military rank, no experience on a battlefield, who came only to deliver bread to his brothers, walked into the most famous single combat in human history and won it before the first stone ever left his hand. The next time you are standing in your own valley, looking at your own giant, remember this. The giant is loud. The giant is intimidating. The giant has been doing this for 40 days and nobody has stopped him yet, but the giant does not know what you are carrying.